What's up, YouTube? PokePrimer here, primed ready to deliver you our week number 6 team builder here in the NPBF. After finally breaking our losing streak last week, thanks to a crit, we definitely need to really step up our game because the fact that we won off of a crit is not the way that I wanted to, but we take those, I guess. This week we are taking on James and the Myrtle Magikarps. And his team is yuck. I'm not a fan of it. It's going to be a horrible thing to face, and it's not going to be fun. His team consists of Melmetal, Pelipper, Porygon 2, Flygon, Charizard, Registeel, Tauros, Mew, Ludicolo, Sock, and Trevenant. So, things to note with his team. 1, he has the Swiss Army Knife Mew. Is that not bad enough? Have I not suffered enough by the hands of Mew over the past several years of Draft League? Apparently not. He has Melmetal, which is always ridiculously hard to deal with. I have my ways of dealing with it, but that doesn't make it fun. So, that's not going to be pleasant. We're going to just have to really work on that one. P2 is fat. He's got the Rain Core with Pelipper, Ludicolo. Ludicolo is ridiculous. Plain and simple. Yeah. Not going to be fun. Other than that, nothing stands out as like super terrifying. Like Sock, Trevenant, all solid mons. Flygon's a solid mon. It's just like none of it else stands as like terrifyingly threatening, except for like the ones I mentioned. But it's gonna still be a tough matchup regardless. I'm still shaking in my boots over it. It's not gonna be fun. But we got this. I have faith in us, and I put in a lot of time into this prep to make sure that we got this. So, first mon, making its debut for the team, is Impostor the Lurantis. Contrary for the ability, we're rocking a Yachi Berry this week. Superpower, Leech Life, Knockoff, and Synthesis. 252 HP, 140 attack, and 116 special defense with a careful nature. That 116 Spadef with the 252 HP is to guarantee that we cannot be 2-hit KO'd by Life Orb Ice Beam from Ludicolo. Ludicolo cannot 2-hit KO us. And if it specs, and we still can't be 2-hit KO'd. Thanks to the Yachi Berry plus Leech Life combination. Leech Life guaranteed 2-hit KOs it, and it also puts us out of range of a second Ice Beam from Ludicolo, which is very nice. That's the whole purpose of Leech Life being there, was just for that recovery. Knockoff is important against his team because getting rid of potential Damp Rock would be nice. Eviolite on P2, also very important. And there's anything on Mew, because we don't want Mew prospering in any way, shape, or form. And then Superpower, because, well, we are contrary, so if like I can get a Superpower off against something, that could be very great for us. We can get that extra attack and defense boost, put us in a much stronger position against several other members of his team. Synthesis, I didn't really have a last move that I wanted, and so I just went with Synthesis. Yes, obviously he has Rain, which is probably going to be up a lot of the time during the game, but we're just going to have to deal with it, I guess, and try to plan our synthesis accordingly, I guess, is the only way to think about it. It's not a perfect system by any means. It's very much not a perfect system. but it's the one that we have. It's pretty much all we got. So we just gotta go with it, wing it, and see what happens. Hopefully we can get it to work. Hopefully it will work nicely. We shall see. I do not have much confidence, but we will see. I don't have a lot of confidence when it comes to the season, but I think Lurantis is going to put in a lot of work, for sure. I think Lurantis can do well for us here, hopefully. It's a solid mon, so I'm sure it'll be fine. Next we have a Spikeburb, the Zapdos heavy-duty boots with the static ability. Thunderbolt, Hurricane, Roost, and Defog. Max HP, 192 defense with a bold nature, and 64 in speed. 64 in speed is for the wonderful creature, the wonderful, glorious creature that is Pelipper. It allows us to outspeed anything that's Pelipper speed and below, which actually a lot of his team is slower than that, which is nice. Well, no, okay, it's Trevenant, Melmetal, and Pelipper, and Registeel and stuff, yeah, but, you know, the relevant members are slower than that. This thing is our main switch into Melmetal, which seems kind of crazy, but we do chew the hit from Melmetal pretty well, and then proceed to potentially get the static. The main reason that this thing's the main switch in is because I want to get the static off on it. That's kind of like one of the big things here, because frankly, like, the static is going to be important. The static is going to be incredibly important for this. My brain just shut off. My apologies. The static is going to be important to basically shut that thing down, make it so that there's a lot more instances where that Mon can't attack us. If we can make as many turns as possible where we aren't getting attacked by Melmetal, that's the best case scenario. So we're going to try for that to the best of our ability. Hopefully that will work out. We shall see. I'm hopeful. I'm definitely hopeful. But who knows? But if we can get the static paralysis off, that's going to be really important. Static para is going to be good for anything. We can also roost certain things off. Like if he's banded, like Double Iron Bash does a lot to us, but we can tank it. And we can roost that one off a little bit, and then we're almost guaranteed to get the static off eventually because it's hitting us twice. If he goes for something Ice Punch, we still tank it. We can still tank an Ice Punch and potentially get the static para, and then we can roost that off pretty nicely because we lose the super effectiveness of it, so we can still roost spam that as well. Rock Slide's another one that like could happen, but the downside to that one is we would not get the potential for the static poison, but we can, or static paralysis, but we can still roost that off. So we can pretty much roost spam on Melmetal all day, every day, which is very nice, and we still have access to things like Thunderbolt we can chip it down with, Hurricane, which we can hit things like the Flygon, and Trevenant with. Just a lot of options. A lot of options with Zapdos that hopefully we can utilize. His hazard options, pretty much, he's got Rocks potential on things like Registeel and the Mew, so he's got a couple solid hazards options that could be a problem for us, but we'll hopefully not have to cross that bridge. But I very well could see him bringing Rocks against us because of Zapdos. So we have Defog. Next mon we're bringing, well, I'm just going to have you look at his team real quick and tell me, do you see a fairy type? Oh, you don't? Perfect. We're bringing Regizard. Choice Scarf, Dragon's Maw for the ability. 32 HP, 252 special attack with a mild nature, and then 224 into speed. The 224 in speed allows us to outpace Pelipper and anything slower, which also allows us to, but it also allows us Scarf-wise to outspeed everything on his team, which is barring any Scarfers, like Scarf Charizard, Scarf Flygon, Scarf Tauros, Scarf Mew. And also we don't outspeed Ludicolo in the rain, but that's fine. Oh, and Scarf Sock. Okay, so like if half of his team is Scarf, then we don't outspeed it. But you know, you get the point. Regardless, it can outspeed anything that's not Scarfed on his team. And even Scarfers that are Pelipper and slower. The only thing on his entire team that can tank this hit is Registeel. If we can get rid of Registeel, Regidrago just clicks Dragon Energy and claims a kill. Pretty much just claims a kill. And also, like, if we can get Registeel whittled down, this thing also has Hammer Arm, so we can knock it out with a Hammer Arm at about 30-40%. Which is very nice. So, like, this thing is... This is why I was so excited to potentially use this against Gavino, and I'm sad that I didn't get a chance to, but, basically, it's such a fun mod to use, just because, like, if your opponent doesn't have a fairy type, or if you can eliminate your opponent's fairy, that's it. It just kills things. It just gets free kills. Like, you don't get much better than that. Which I think is fantastic. It's so unbelievably strong. It's like, how do you it's I just, there's not enough excitement I can have for this mon. It really isn't. And so, like, targeting and eliminating threats, which include the Registeel in this case, which I have very good ways of getting rid of Registeel, should be piece of cake. So then we can just win with Regidrago, and that's gonna be great. Next up, we have Derp the Slowbro. We're running Assault Vest Slowbro this week. Scald, Future Sight, Psyshock, and Ice Beam. 252 HP, 176 Spadef with a Calm Nature, and then 80 in Defense. The 176 Calm, that was for... I believe that prevents 2 KO from Life Orb Ludicolo. I believe that is the calc that I had. Yeah, we are not 2 KO'd by Life Orb Giga Drain from Ludicolo, which is cool. So we can also, like, set up a Future Sight, fire off a Psyshock, something along those lines, and continue to mess his team up, which is cool. Scald never hurts. He has no water immunities, which is nice, so getting a burn on something could be pretty cool. The Future Sight is always nice to have, because sometimes people forget about the Future Sights, and then they get hit with the Future Sight, and then all of a sudden a mon dies that they weren't expecting to die that turn. And then Ice Beam is there because Flygon, and that's it. Because Flygon. It's as simple as that. Regenerator, of course, for the ability, because this thing's going to be in and out of the game a lot, and it's really good for tanking a lot of the hits on his team. Nothing on his team really deals with breaking this kind of set of Slowbro very easily. So I'm excited to see Slowbro put in some work. Next up, we have Life Orb Big Leak Energy. We actually are going to... Does he have a Ghost type on his team? Do we need to go Scrappy? We don't need to go Scrappy. Is there a chance for us to flinch? He does have Intimidate. Okay, we're going to go with Scrappy anyway. Okay, Scrappy for the ability so that potential Intimidate Tauros doesn't become a bother. That's the only thing. Oh, no, he does have a Ghost type. He does have Trevenant, so that works even better. Anyways, so we're running max speed, max attack, 4 into defense, Jolly Nature, Life Orb. And if you guys haven't seen Surfetch do work, oh, you're in for a treat. Close combat, Oko's pretty much anything that doesn't resist on his team. Or comes damn near close. What's also cool about this thing is it has access to First Impression, which, you know, is priority. It's a priority bug move, and it's a very hard-hitting one. And 2 of the things on his team that are incredibly problematic, being the Mew and the Ludicolo, are both weak to bug. Which, if you're doing the math, means this thing can shut down a potential Mew sweep. It can shut down a potential... It can shut down Ludicolo if somehow it finds a way to break through Lurantis. It's incredible how strong this thing is. And then we also have Knockoff. Knockoff is going to be good for getting rid of items. Of course, that's always something important to have. And then last but not least, I threw on Quick Attack. And the reason for Quick Attack is there are some instances where close combat will knock something down to about 10-15%. Like, it does that much damage. Well, that's range for Quick Attack. So, imagine having to, imagine dying to Quick Attack in a Draft League battle. So I'm definitely excited for Surfetch to put in some work in this one. This is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a great one. And last but not least, we got Budweiser. Mr. Budweiser, the Mudsdale. Rocking the leftovers. Pretty much almost fully physically defensive. 252 HP, 248 defense with an impish nature, and 8 in speed. Now, the 8 in the speed, mainly, is for Melmetal. Because I saw a couple Melmetal sets when I was prepping that speed crept up to like 35 speed. Up to base 35 speed. So, I'm speed creeping a potential speed creep with this. That's kind of the goal. He goes 1 up, I go 2 up from my original speed, and then we go from there. Body Press, Earthquake, Rest, and Sleep Talk. This thing is really solid against his team. He doesn't have many special attackers, and the special attackers he does have are dealt with kind of well by a lot of other members of our team. We can deal with Zard. We can deal with Mew in a couple different ways. And we can deal with the Rain Core. P2 as well, kind of. But this thing kind of benefits from taking on P2 as well because we still tank the hits and then we can rest, sleep, talk things off, and we still get the defense boosts, which is nice. But basically, this thing takes on a lot of members of his team. We get the stamina boosts, and then Body Press. Excuse me. Body Press breaks a lot of things on his team. Nukes through Tauros, nukes through P2 pretty well. I think after +2, we're 100% guaranteed to a KO, depending on his spread. If he's more Spadef, I think we can get it a little bit sooner, but it really depends. And then Earthquake's just for stab. Still hits things like Melmetal and other mons in the regular. But the goal is to just get this thing boosted up and start body pressing shit. That's kind of the goal with Mudsdale here. Really hoping we can get that going because I really, really want Mudsdale to do something. Mudsdale has been fairly underwhelming this season, unfortunately, and I do really love using Mudsdale, so we will see how that will work out. I'm going to do my best to make it happen this week. So, fingers crossed. But that's going to be it for this team builder. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe if you have not already. And you catch the battle tomorrow. But till then, I'm PokePrimer, signing off. Peace.